Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Not the greatest news today on Fortress Biotech. So yeah, I woke up early. I replied to some of your comments. It wasn't great news in hindsight that the FDA didn't approve IV Tramadol on Friday. I read an article. I'm having trouble finding it today, but I read an article the other day that was talking about the percentage of drugs that get approved if the approval doesn't reach us on the day of approval. If the approvals are late, it's not usually a good sign. So keep that in mind for future investing. But I want to show you this press release from Fortress Biotech. It says Avenue Therapeutics receives complete response letter from the FDA for IV Tramadol. So I don't want. I'm gonna skip the first paragraph here, but let's start right here. So this complete response letter stated that although the pivotal phase 3 clinical trials demonstrated statistically significant outcomes for all of the primary and many secondary endpoints, the FDA has determined that it cannot approve the application in its present form. The complete response letter stated that IV Tramadol, intended to treat patients in acute pain who require an opioid, is not safe for the intended patient population. Specifically, if a patient requires an analgesic between the first dose of IV Tramadol and the onset of analgesia, a rescue analgesic would be needed. The likely choice would be another opioid, which would result in opioid stacking and increase the likelihood of opioid-related adverse effects. They also stated, other than this potential safety concern, the FDA did not identify a safety signal in Avenue's clinical development program. But the FDA also stated that they require an adequate terminal sterilization validation prior to the new drug application approval, and that isn't planned until later this quarter. So, yeah, it sounds like, based on this next paragraph, that Avenue Therapeutics, they're one of the subsidiaries of Fortress Biotech. They plan to have a meeting with the FDA and say, look, like this IV Tramadol is in use around the world. It's really big in the UK. It's used on children. You know, that was one of the reasons I thought there's no way this isn't going to get approved. But it looks like they're going to have a meeting with the FDA to kind of resolve some of these issues. So that's what Lucy Liu is saying. She's the CEO of Avenue Therapeutics. So yeah, you win some, you lose some, right? And like for me, for instance, okay, this sucked. So look at Fortress Biotech today. It wasn't good this morning when I woke up. I mean, this stock was below $3 a share. So I was down a ton, okay? And you can see that it's down 21% today, but it was down even more, right? So I think when I bought it at like $4.19 or something like that. $4.30, I don't know, I'd have to look, but I lost about $530 on this stock. I sold it at $3.33. Look, there's still a good chance that Fortress will succeed and will double from where it's at, or get to that $8, maybe even $19. They have a lot of things in the pipeline. Now, for me, this was a short-term play, and it turned out to not work out. But this has happened to me in the past. Today, I'm actually up, strangely, even though I lost $530, because of stocks like Nano Dimensions, for instance, right? They're up 7% today. I have a big position in that. IPOB is up 11% today. As you know, I have a big position in that if you watch the channel. NVTA is up almost 1%. So a lot of my bigger positions are up today, which more than makes up for the loss in Fortress Biotech. Avenue Therapeutics is down almost 60% today. I did not invest anything in Avenue Therapeutics. I think the way Fortress Biotech is structured, they're structured to be able to take these hits, okay? There's a chance that Avenue Therapeutics will just go under completely because that subsidiary is really only working on IV Tramadol. Like, that's it. That's all they're doing for Fortress, okay? So if IV Tramadol never gets approved in the US here, Avenue Therapeutics is just going to disappear. That's just how it's going to work. Now, Fortress Biotech, that is a very smart business decision. It's a subsidiary. They can say, you know what, Avenue Therapeutics screwed up. We're done with you. Good luck. Have a good time, right? And then now Avenue Therapeutics is on its own. I think IV Tramadol will get approved eventually, but they were clearly further behind than they let us all on, especially with that if you look back here, that other issue that they had where it says they require an adequate terminal sterilization validation. You know, there's no way that Avenue Therapeutics didn't know that before they submitted their new drug application back in February. So that was a screw up on their part. But these are risks we take as investors. A lesson for all of us is to don't put your eggs in one basket. Just don't do it, or the fox is going to come up and eat all your eggs, man. He's going to eat all your eggs out of the basket, and then you lose. Diversify a little bit. Diversify. Like I said, I am not down today. I am actually up quite a bit today, but I would have been up a lot more if this Avenue Therapeutics and Fortress Biotech play worked out. But not all of your trades are going to work out, and those are the risks we take as investors. If you want a high growth, high opportunity portfolio, you are going to take risks as an investor, and you're going to lose sometimes. You're going to fail sometimes. You're going to pick the wrong stocks, and that's just the price of admission. That's the price of admission. But if you diversify in the right way, these little hits that you experience sometimes, it won't be the end of the world. Now, I do want to say Fortress Biotech could be a really good long-term play. I did not want to play Fortress Biotech in the long term, but it could be a really good long-term play. They could be at $12 a share in the next 6 months to a year. They have a few other things that are in, second and third phase trials, and they look really, really promising. And when they file a new drug application, like when Mustang files their new drug application next, I would think that Fortress Biotech will go up again. But for me, this was a short-term play. I was in and out. I took the loss. I'm cool with that. And for any of you who lost, I had a couple comments on the videos like, hey, have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? And I didn't hear anything over the weekend. I started to get a little worried. And one comment this morning from one of you saying, hey, I got screwed on this one. And I'm sorry. That sucks. And I feel your pain. I felt your pain today, I promise. I lost, like I said, actually $529.70. That's exactly what I lost on this trade. And it wasn't a huge position for me, but $529.70 is a lot of money for some people. And it's a lot of money for me too. But that's the risk we take. But diversify. Don't invest in Avenue Therapeutics. But something like Nano Dimensions, this stock could go crazy. They don't even have any competition. That's one of the beautiful things about Nano Dimensions. And this I will be making a video on Nano Dimensions soon. IPOB, if you've watched any of my videos, you know my opinion on IPOB. NVTA, great long-term play. IPOB, same thing. These are stocks that could make you rich over the next 5-10 years. But if you're investing, you're going to lose some money too. So keep that in mind. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. If you didn't already, click that red subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next video.